Hey guys, I have been wanting to make this video for a while because the original version of this video, my Byleth reaction, is probably my least favorite video on my channel. It's probably the number one thing I would say I'm actually embarrassed by. I have like embarrassing videos in the past, but those are mostly from when I was a kid. But this one was, it was within the past couple of years, and I think what I don't like about it is there's sort of this stereotype that has been developed, and mostly for good reason, of this like thankless Smash fan who gets upset anytime it's a character they don't like. And this video certainly makes me seem like that kind of person. So the truth is, when I saw Byleth, I have very, in my opinion, reasonable reasons for my opinions on Fire Emblem characters in Smash and why I feel that way. I think there are very reasonable arguments that I have about them, but in the um, in the realization that it was happening again, I just gotten so angry that all I expressed was rage. I didn't actually like I failed to explain any of them basically. Any of the actual reasons why I feel that way. Um, I just failed to say, so it just comes off as me being extremely angry. Um, but I basically just want to make this video to say like, okay, now that it has been long since Byleth came out, and we're close to the final Smash Fighter, um, let me just make a video saying like, here are my actual reasons why I feel this way. And while I will say, even with these, my initial reaction was pretty extreme, but that was just like me, sort of violently expressing my emotions, um, in a kind of stupid way, but expressing emotions that I still do agree with, and that I still feel have good reason. So I'm basically just gonna like play the actual reaction, and I'm just gonna pause it whenever something comes up that I want to explain, and say like, okay, here's what was actually going through my head right now that I completely failed to express.
But I mean, it is um, very early in the morning. All right. Hopefully, my computer is willing to actually do live stuff right now. Hi, chat. Immediately, hi, chat. Oh boy. Oh, we're off to a good start. Oh, live. Go live. Okay. Fifth DLC person. Before I talk about the DLC in general, let me just say I'm beginning to get worried that Nintendo just doesn't have anything for 2020, or at least the first half of 2020, because we know about Animal Crossing, and we know about the Xenoblade remake, and they have not released any direct or any news about any big first-party things. And the more time goes on, the more I wonder, like, is Nintendo just gonna pull in 2019 again and just not release games in the first half of the year? Because as cool as it is to get a lot of games in a shorter period of time, it's like I'm a college student. I don't have time for that. I like games spread throughout the year personally. This will probably be shorter, a bit like the Pokemon video. I probably won't be reacting to the presentation of the fighter itself, or it'll really just be a reaction to the reveal. I like how people have liked this before they even know who it is. I mean, he could get on and tell us a Fortnite character. It's not going to happen, but he could. He could. He could ruin all our hopes and dreams. Um. Anyway, I don't. don't really have any predictions. I'm just gonna be totally honest here. I know it's gonna be a third-party character just because the rest of the pack, the rest of the challenger packs, and whoever it is, I hope it's somebody that makes a lot of other people happy. But I, I'm just gonna be totally honest here. I've been open about the fact I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I primarily play Nintendo. I barely play other third parties, and it seems like every third party character I might want is pretty much deconfirmed in some way. I would like an Undertale character, but I think the Sans costume kind of makes that impossible. I don't know. And then in terms of third parties I played, there are like characters that are way too small. I mean, I love A Hat in Time, but you know, it's a new property. It's got one game, and it's an indie game. I think Ukulele would have a better chance, honestly, especially since A Hat in Time just launched on Switch. Then again, Banjo has not had anything on Switch. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I hope whoever we get today makes a lot of people happy. Based on what Sakurai said, it sounds like the next DLC fighters are all going to be third parties too, or at the very least, are going to be unrepresented franchises in Smash. So, you know, somebody higher up at the company that makes it, or something, or some like the director of DMC5 or something big like that. Maybe it was the voice actor even. They were literally talking about Dante being in Smash, and they said it would be cool if it happened. And I feel like that would be a DMC. DMC. I feel like that would be a NDA or violation, or I don't know. I don't remember the term, but like I feel like they would have had to sign a contract that says we won't talk about this, and that would have violated that. Are there any characters I don't want? Well, I just said Fortnite character. I would prefer not to have a Minecraft character, though. Honestly, I would be totally objected to that.
Before Steve was revealed in Smash, I was flip flopping on the idea of a Minecraft character. I was never like really mad about it. Sometimes I was like, well, I don't think I would like that. Other times I was like, it might be cool. Obviously, if you watch my Steve reaction, you'll see when it happened. I was in the mindset of, you know what, I think it would be kind of cool, and I think it is cool, and it's also also very obvious and very deserved. So yeah.
But there are a few characters that a lot of people want, and I just really would not care about in the slightest. I mean, the ones I actively wouldn't want because I really don't like the games they're in. One thing I can say for sure is it's going to be a third party, but there's like a 0.0001% chance they decide to add one non-third party, one Nintendo character. If they add a Fire Emblem character, I will die inside. My soul will cease to exist. It's probably going to be Sakurai sitting there talking before the video starts, or before the reveal trailer. Or he could just like not even have a reveal trailer. Maybe that's how they're actually going to reveal it. Is remember that leak where it was just like Ken standing next to something that was cut out that you couldn't see? Somebody said they supposedly had leaked information. What if that's how they reveal it? It's just an image with Ken going next to the fifth DLC fighter. That's the reveal trailer. It's just that for like 3 minutes. Oh boy. Or like it's Ken standing there at first with nothing next to him, and then the character just phases into existence. For Toby's sake, I hope it's Shantae. Ooh. Now the outline of Sakurai was just burned into my eyes. It's that early in the morning. No, Fire Emblem. No! 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 Why? Are you kidding me?
The general consensus about people who are mad about Fire Emblem's representation in Smash is that they think there are too many, And while that is somewhat my opinion, there's a very big caveat for me, which is that I think there are too many in relation to bigger, meaning more popular series with more varied characters. Um, Even shortly after Byleth's reveal, I didn't even have a problem with Byleth specifically. It was just the fact that Byleth was the eighth character, which means that you'll see Zelda is my go-to example a lot because it's my personal favorite series and also the biggest of the series that have less characters in Fire Emblem. Um, a first-party series, of course, um, and Zelda has two less characters than Fire Emblem right now. And don't get me started on how many of those characters are clones in the small roster that we do have. Um, the last time we got a Zelda character was Toon Link and Brawl, and that was still just a clone or a replacement for Young Link. I mean, the last time we got a new move set was in Melee, and of course, there are still many other series that are also big, like Kirby, or unrepresented series completely, like Chibi Robo or Rhythm Heaven. Um, and I feel like, you know, none of these really have the rosters that they should have um, before Fire Emblem reaches this point. So the problem isn't Fire Emblem or Byleth specifically. In fact, if I were going to choose one Fire Emblem representative to be in the game, Byleth is from the highest selling Fire Emblem game, and honestly, they deserve it more than anybody. I would choose them. It's just seeing all these other Nintendo series get forgotten game after game. When we have a limited number of slots, that's when it becomes an issue. So unless the final fighter is from Zelda, it'll show that my fears in January of 2020 when this happened were reasonable. And even if it is a Zelda rep, the series will still have one less character than Fire Emblem. Ultimately, I actually would be perfectly fine with 8 FE reps in a world where the other series are relationally better represented. So if Zelda had 10 characters, um, Fire Emblem having 8 would not be nearly as big of a deal to me.
No. Oh, God.
You must join Smash. Join Smash Brothers already! What in the world are you waiting for?
God. God dang it. God dang it.
So joining Smash consumes even the darkness itself.
A Nintendo character? But it's Fire Emblem? Why? It is not a lance or axe user. It's another sword user.
So another annoying type of Smash fan is the kind that just goes, too many sword fighters, and this reaction video would obviously make me seem like I'm one of them. But if you've watched my Pyro and Mithra reaction, you'll see a very different reaction. And now, granted, I have played Xenoblade 1, but I haven't played 2. I also haven't played Final Fantasy VII, and while I wasn't screaming when Sephiroth was revealed, that's just because I was so stunned that a third-party franchise was getting a second character that wasn't just a clone. So, why would I have the positive reaction to these characters but not to the Fire Emblem character? And granted, yes, it is because of the fact that it's Fire Emblem, and there are all of the previous issues that I talked about, just with the relational roster size. But there's also a second fact that's sort of weirdly out of respect for Fire Emblem. Um, so while I always believe there are too many, in relation to other series, let's say we have to have another Fire Emblem character. Okay, so that series has an armada of weapon types we could see that would bring something completely new to Smash. We could have a fighter that's based entirely around a bow and arrow, one that uses an axe, which might seem like a sword, but in reality would work totally differently, or at least fairly differently. A lance user. We have like Pegasus Knights, which would be riding around on horses. That would be really interesting to see in Smash in some way. But instead, it's almost always the player character, and every single one of them uses a sword as their main weapon. What I didn't know at this point in the trailer is yes, Byleth does have different weapons, um, and that certainly makes them more interesting to me. But the fact is, they still use a sword as their main weapon. We don't get to see like what a specifically bow and arrow character would be like. I think if we had to get another Fire Emblem character, I would like to see one that has one of these other movesets. Um, so, long story short, I don't have a problem with anime swordsmen. It's just anime swordsman from a franchise that is already overrepresented and is literally only represented by anime swordsman when it has way more weapon wielders than that.
God. Dang it, Sakurai. I thought we were done with this crap.
So you return, and sooner than expected. I see.
Why?
To handle the hero's relics.
Sakurai.
With Errant Fire, strike with superior reach. Use Amir's overwhelming power. Unleash the blinding speed.
Binary. This is 0. Hold this here and you get 1. And then
You'll notice the editing is janky on this one too, even jankier than my usual editing. And this moment really stands out. And that's because I didn't even really want to make this video. I sort of sloppily smashed it together as quickly as I could, and just threw it on the internet because I felt like I had to, not because I really wanted to make it, but because I felt like it was a smash reaction and I had to put it up. And that's also, I think, part of why I'm so embarrassed and not happy with this video, is because I just wanted to get it up, not because I wanted to make it like most everything I make on this channel. All I'm really trying to say with this comment is my mom asked me for help. Normally I would have just paused it so I could continue, but with this character I just let it keep going because I didn't really care.
I'm sure it's a fine game.
you could always give it a go. What is Fire Emblem Three Houses? In Japanese, the male version of the main character is called Bereto, and the female version is called Beresu. But in English, they share the same name, Byleth. Byleth becomes a professor who ends up leading one of 3 academic houses.
Zelda doesn't matter. Screw the Legend of Zelda. We don't care about the Legend of Zelda. We won't add a Zelda character since Brawl. All the Fire Emblem characters, every single one of the Fire Emblem characters. We're just gonna add the entire cast of Fire Emblem's trademark to Smash Bros. We hate you, Zelda fans. Go kill yourself.
Okay, so this is the first of a few jokes I make in the video that just are not funny and do not land. I have realized I'm just not good at being funny when I'm mad. Any jokes I make are just sort of coded in anger, and like you see here, they just go too far. If there is a single moment in this video that convinced me I had to apply my more reasonable self to it like I'm doing right now, it would be this specific joke. I also try to make more jokes throughout the video, about like Sakurai hating Zelda or making this presentation just to hurt my feelings specifically. Anytime you hear a joke like that, just know I didn't actually believe it. That was my extremely mad self's attempt at being funny, while I was too upset to actually come up with anything that was good. Except for the joke about bones I make later. I still think that was pretty good.
An early version of the game endings, it was really hard to get a feel for it. And of course, there weren't any walkthroughs I could reference. The game has multiple routes, and the outcome of each is very different. Your experience will vary depending on the route you choose, and many of the characters you meet will adopt different roles.
I know I wouldn't care about the character. I didn't know I would hate the character. I already paid money for this. I already gave them money for this.
Sadly, they're lacking in mobility.
Oh, so they're trash.
It's maybe a bit better than Robin's, but that's about all you can
I
say.
mean,
Throws are not their strong
At the
point.
very least, if they're a fun
grab
character,
range.
but slow
But
characters
actually, you could say that they're distance demons.
can be good. But, like,
The hero's
Incineroar,
relic changes depending on
trash.
the direction you
I find Incineroar way too slow to be any fun to play as, but Byleth isn't really that slow. They're fast enough, at least, that I don't feel like they're terrible like the Fire Cat. At the time of recording this, I was obviously just angry and sort of wanted a reason to think the character was bad in-game to hate them more, but at this point I don't think that's true.
input. They look like bones. and
because
there's a
of the
reason for that.
bones of you, they're the bones of
First, let's
me.
talk about the weapon Byleth uses
This
to
is actually
upward
recorded in the
inputs.
future
The
after
sword of the
Sakurai
creator.
has directly come to my
The
house
sword of
and
the
killed me
creator
and
here
ripped
is
out my
Byleth's
bones and
default
used it
weapon.
to create this
They use it for
character.
flurry attack for
Look
their
at that
uppercut attack.
ugly stage.
They'll wave the whip sword
Look at
over
how
your head.
ugly that stage is. Like,
The hit detection
I
for
know
this attack
Fire Emblem
lasts
Three
for a
House is
relatively
supposedly
long time.
a good game for people who are into
The up
that kind
special
of
move
game.
is really something.
But
the sword extends like this,
it is not a pretty
allowing
game.
you to do things like
And now
this.
we have a stage based on that very not pretty game.
It was
and it
pretty
looks just as
terrifying,
hideous
going
as
not
you
to
would
leave the air
expect.
with that attack.
It
And
just
in
looks
addition,
awful. It just looks so bad.
As a Nintendo fan, I obviously don't see graphics as too important, but I do have to say that I do find Three Houses locations to just look ugly. And Smash definitely makes everything look a bit better. I'll also touch on the characters a bit later. But I actually do still agree with myself here, for the most part, that at least parts of the stage just do not look very pretty.
You can do awful.
Why am I even still
Like so.
recording? I'm still recording in the
Marth's
hopes
air
that there's a
attack
cool
keeps
Mii
opponents
Fighter
in check
costume.
right.
Like, no Mii Fighter costume can make up for this. But at the very
If
least,
Byleth
maybe
does
it
the
can
same
make
thing,
me
you
slightly
win out,
happy.
So you should be able to beat.
I just wanted to say that here I'm obviously exaggerating a little bit. I'm still upset we got a Fire Emblem rep instead of any other Nintendo franchise, obviously, but it's not like Sakurai did this specifically to betray us. I'm not happy about it, but the rest of Ultimate is so good that I don't think Byleth ruins the game or that he has to make up for it. It just sucks that someone from a more respected series wasn't chosen.
Next, the side smash attack.
I thought that
This also has a
Sakurai,
long
like,
It'll connect even
in all
from here.
honesty, I thought that Sakurai was, like, forced to add Korin. But I think Sakurai just,
Also, if you add an upward tilt, it will be stronger.
I think he just will let
And if
Fire
you've
Emblem.
knocked an opponent down, the side attack.
So unless I have got my sources wrong, it seems that this actually was sort of true. Nintendo basically made Sakurai put Byleth in, and at first he didn't want to, but now looking back, he does think that it aged well because of Three Houses' success. But it should be noted that supposedly Sakurai actually didn't want to put another non-Echo FE rep in the game.
Won't hit unless you add a downward tilt.
We're just gonna get endless Fire Emblem characters. There's never gonna be an end. Every Smash iteration,
By the way, the
assuming
tip
there are
of the
more,
lens is more powerful.
we're gonna get another Smash
The
character.
shaft part is weaker.
And or another Fire Emblem character, and we're never
it's
gonna
not
get another
suited to
Zelda
close
character.
combat.
We will never see another Zelda
It won't
character,
deal much damage,
but we're
and
gonna
it
see
won't
so
launch
many Fire
opponents
Emblem
far.
characters. All of the Fire Emblem
That's why, as
characters.
a rule,
I really shouldn't be complaining because Smash
Or
Ultimate is
downward.
such a good game. But
next, the side special move.
as a Zelda fan, I just feel depraved.
Byleth will simply
Depraved.
swing the
I
lance
feel
like this.
betrayed.
But again, it is
Like,
excellent reach.
Why
For example, even when your
is
opponent
it so
is at this
hard to
distance,
add
it'll
a
still
new
hit.
character from your third best-selling series of all time?
Actually, you can do a smash attack to charge forward a little, like this.
Why? Here's me killing one of the characters
Next
you
is
do
the
like,
down smash attack.
just to crap on you
A
that
heavy swing
much.
of the axe, back and forth. As you can see, it has a
I
great
made
deal
this
of
direct
launch power.
specifically because I hate you, Jacob.
And for the down special,
That's what Sakurai says.
Byleth channels all their
I
energy
hate you
into a devastating
specifically.
strike. It's a bold move, similar to the Falcon Punch. but
For
due to the super armor effect, you have
Third-party
the advantage.
characters. And finally a first-party character. But what first
Another
party?
notable
What first party
aspect is that
series
lets
is
you
it?
pass through
Oh, is it an
platforms.
unrepresented series?
While you're charging
Like
that,
Rhythm
you can
Heaven?
breeze past
Since
platforms
Sakurai
like
has
this to
been
reach
loving
a lower
doing these
area.
unrepresented series,
It won't let you jump,
Is
but
it,
you could use it as a
uh,
surprise attack.
even a character
Also,
from
you
a
can
series
turn
with
around
not
during the
many characters.
The swing takes
Is it a
while.
character from The
So if
Legend
an
of
opponent
Zelda,
runs behind
one
you
of the
during the move,
like
you
one of the
quickly
most
change the
iconic
direction.
series of all time, but which doesn't have
Even though it can be hard to land a hit with this move,
nearly
it
enough
can be really
characters.
effective when
No,
used against a group of opponents.
it's more Fire Emblem. More of the series
Plus,
that there are already
even if
way
you
too
fail
many
to land a
characters
direct
of.
hit, any opponents on the ground nearby will still be launched a little.
The fact that he's actually unique
It's as
makes
if
it
quaking of the ground
slightly
launches
better. But then there's the fact that his idle pose is still holding a sword.
By the way,
And I think that this is where the seething version of me came the closest to expressing my real thoughts.
earlier I talked. You can perform this move by keeping the button
You know,
held
Zelda
down.
has light arrows.
You charge up power like so. Charge a bit more, and then fire. But again, you'll need to take care when using this move. For one,
Midna.
when you've powered up the move to its
You're
max,
here.
there's no way to cancel out of it.
Just a generic
Not even with the
Goron.
shield button.
A generic
In other
Zora.
words, you're committed to firing it.
A generic Deku.
So you see, a situation
I would
like
take
this
any of
is
them
pretty terrible.
over this. I would take any of them.
Once you've entered the stand,
Any
you
of them.
won't be able to do anything.
Any of them.
Which means it's
Gino.
quite a risky attack to use
I
against
would have
fighters
been
who
fine
have
with
a
Gino.
move
I haven't
with
played
a
Super
reflector.
Mario RPG.
But you could
He's a
always
character a
just
lot
aim
of
at the
people
frame,
want.
as it is,
I would have
after
been
all,
fine
a
with
long-range
Gino.
move, letting you deal a sudden blow to a
Oxling.
So
Imagine a
you
new
need to think
Splatoon
carefully
character
when using this projectile
with
weapon.
its own moveset.
Byleth's final smash is called Progenitor God
There's so
Ruptured
many
Heaven.
great
In the original
Nintendo
game,
characters.
There's a move called Ruptured Heaven. This is an enhanced version.
And it's Fire Emblem. And you have to use a lolly in your final smash.
As you can see, you team up with the mysterious Sothis and launch an attack together.
You're the only spark of happiness I have in this room right now. Fire Emblem has
And as
good
such,
character
they
design,
embrace
I'll
their
just fully
military
admit
might.
that. I don't think it's a bad series. I
Edelgard
don't know
is
how
one
to
of the
stress this
characters
enough. I don't think it's a
essential
bad
to
series. I just think that I like The Legend
Depending on
of
the path
Zelda,
you take,
and I
she'll
think
go through some
Sakurai
terrible
hates The Legend of
ordeals.
Zelda. I'd take a third Animal Crossing rep over this, honestly.
However,
You
Fire
can't
Emblem
tell me
Three
that
Houses.
these three aren't family.
All three have character quirks related to their true identity.
You cannot tell me that Rhea is not
I
their
feel
mother.
that Flame might be saying
or
shush
that
at this
Seta
point, so I'll leave it
isn't
at that.
Rhea is
This is a simple area of the
husband
stage.
or something.
All it has are these platforms.
No, because
Being the
Flame is
last
his
area,
sister,
it may be a
so
place where
she
some
can't be
intense battles will be
his
waged.
child. They're
It'll cycle through each location in about 2.5
okay. These are
minutes.
just all three siblings then. Do I have to?
Gee, we really made a
Just
lot.
watch me destroy all these characters that you actually did like.
By now, I think you know what I'm doing. But
I literally, but have I mentioned? I just complimented Fire Emblem characters' design, but
I bet
Byleth specifically, I literally hate their design. I hate their design, especially as
use
male.
this chance to
Their
attack.
female design is
Got it.
slightly better, but their male design is so bad. I
He's
hate
invincible
everything
from
about it.
there.
I hate everything about it. Every single thing.
Lots of explosives.
I hate their stupid haircut. I hate that they have blue hair.
Perfect shield of that.
I hate that they have blue hair like every other
Good
Fire
one.
Emblem character in this game.
If I do this, or like so. No anti.
I really do not
There,
like
that's not
either of their
correct.
clothing. It's like
Good.
it's like
There's
the
Mom.
Fire Emblem designers designed everybody in this game except for the main
You're in a good
characters.
spot, Mom.
So here's another thing. While I do think that FE characters are generally well designed, the player characters are usually the most boring, and Byleth especially looks sort of hideous to me. Smash definitely makes them look better than in their games, and I guess lore-wise there is a reason why their eyes are soulless and reflect only empty husks, but that doesn't really change the fact that they're still kind of ugly.
This is a
one.
cursed
Good game.
image. This PNG is cursed.
It can be fun to play like
Both
this,
of the
especially in
PNGs
tag
on the
team, so I
poster
think it's a
behind
good idea to try imposing different
Sakurai
types of challenges
are
on yourself.
absolutely cursed.
The end.
And the thing in the middle is especially awful.
Now, about the additional music.
This is the most cursed
Since it's from
video
the Fire
Nintendo
Emblem
will
series,
ever
we'll be
upload.
adding each of the new
And
tracks
Nintendo
to
has a
all the Fire
character,
Emblem stages.
or Nintendo has a video.
There are already a
of a
lot of
Piranha
Fire Emblem
Plant
tracks
dabbing.
in the game. Our selection this now for the Mii Fighter costumes. Please take
This
a look.
is the part that I care about. Oh, it's just gonna be all the Fire Emblem characters, I'm sure. It's gonna be Claude and Dimitri in that regard. Those are Assassin's Creed, not Assassin's Creed. A game that looks really similar to Assassin's Creed, but is not, I guess.
No, I was right here. This is Assassin's Creed. I don't play Assassin's Creed and know any of the characters' names, so when I saw Altair, I thought that was the name of the game, that there was some game called Altair that just like used very similar character designs, but no, I was right in the first place.
Huh. Oh no. I'm fine with this as a me costume. Just don't make them characters. What does it matter at this point? What does it matter who they add? What does it matter? Nothing matters. I didn't even know there were more Mega Man characters in existence. I thought they added them all as Mii Fighters. Mega Man. .exe. Oh no. Is this a creepypasta? Oh, that's awesome. A Mii costume for Cuphead. Now that's cool. Okay, so there's one thing here that I like. I figured there'd be something I liked here. I like that. Cuphead Gunner, that's pretty cool. I mean, representing indies as a Mii Fighter seems like a pretty good alternative to making them characters. And he comes with a piece of music too. Nice. Just like Sans. I know nothing about Altair.
This time, we're releasing a Cuphead costume. And for those of you who purchased the Cuphead costume, an additional song
I'll
will
give
be
you
added.
75 cents for Cuphead.
It's called Floral Fury.
But can you
and it's
refund
the
me
theme that plays when
the
fighting
last
characters
$5
carnage.
of my Fighter's Pass?
I hope you
for
enjoyed
Byleth.
this as well.
Can you just refund me that?
After
And
purchasing
not
a
put it in
costume,
my game?
I recommend using the sharing feature. If someone has created a Mii Fighter, you can play
Whatever,
using the
I'm happy
costume
to
it's
support
wearing
this game.
immediately after you download it.
Even if this just shredded my soul.
And now, onto the amiibo.
Even if my soul has left my body
The
and
color
gone straight
palette
to
for Dark
hell.
Samus looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Everything else about this
Dark
game is
Samus
so
and
good.
Richter are planned for release on Friday,
Except for the
January
fact that
17th.
there's, you know, no Zelda characters. And now they've shown, oh, we will add first party characters. Just
And
not
now,
Zelda.
with the addition of Byleth,
Just not
the
Zelda.
Fighter's Pass is finally complete. The lineup
I did hear
was
him say
Joker,
we couldn't add
Hero,
Princess Zelda
Banjo
Breath
and
of the
Kazooie,
Wild
Terry Bogard, and Byleth.
specifically, and I'm fine with that. But like so many other Zelda characters, there's so many
More
other
than
Zelda characters
70
you could add.
fighters, only
I would
5
take,
have been
I would
added.
take I said I would take a generic.
But I must say, this game has
Goron.
always been an exceptional experience. See
They're not
fighters
going to
down the
announce
line.
it today, I'm sure.
I had thought that 1 or 2 might suffice, but, well,
Are you gonna
Have a
make a
look.
whole new Fighter's Pass? That would be sweet. Yay. Oh! 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 I thought he was just about to reveal one of them.
looks like there will be 1 more fighter than last time. For this reason, we will be releasing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. It will be available for
Even
purchase
if
from
I am
date
upset
shown,
about
so please
Byleth,
keep an eye
I'm
out.
going to buy that.
And now that it's official, we intend to move ahead with development.
As upset as I am
Like
about
last
today,
time, the content
I'm just
will
gonna
remain
say
unknown for
I'm
now.
going to support
I'm
this
personally very
series.
sorry
I'm going to
we
support
have
this
to
game no
release
matter
Fighters
what.
Pass Volume 2,
This
and
upsets
the
me,
details
this
have yet to
specific
be revealed.
character, but the rest of the game
Like last time,
is
I'd be
so
very
good,
grateful
and
if,
Sakura has worked
despite
so
that,
hard
you
on
would
this game.
understand why and purchase
I know I've like
Furthermore, the
been
new
making
editions
jokes
have
about
already
him
been
hating
decided.
Zelda fans and stuff this whole time,
Even
but
if I received
legitimately
many
thank you
requests
Sakurai
regarding
for
potential candidates on Twitter, I'm afraid it would be very hard to
everything
consider
about
them.
this game.
But I still hope you'll look forward
So
to
I'm
it.
gonna buy it. I'm gonna support this.
We're also including a bonus with Fighters Pass
Ooh.
Volume 2. Last time, it was a Rex costume. But this time, here's what we have.
A bonus. Oh, cool. Oh,
It's a Mii
cool.
fighter costume for
I
Mii
thought there was
Swordfighter,
already Breath of the Wild.
the ancient soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda
Dude,
Breath of the Wild.
if you add anything Zelda Sakurai,
This will not be for sale
I
individually,
will
so it can
I
only be
will
acquired as part of Fighters
100%
Pass
forgive
Volume 2.
today's direct. I will like one last thing.
I plan to keep working hard, so I hope you can continue to support us.
I will, even after this.
That's it. Thank you.
Even after this. Let's see. Well, there you have it. Fire Emblem. Oh. The 3! He was. People were looking into it, and people were joking. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was actually a hint. It was actually a hint. God. Dang it. Oh. Oh. Oh.
That wraps up my actual reaction, but there is one last thing I'll say, just since we're on the topic of Fire Emblem characters. One thing that people who are for Fire Emblem having this many reps will say is like, well, why are you against this, but you're not against the Mario and Pokemon franchises having that many characters? And the answer is simply that those series are literally at the top of Nintendo's list. Mario is the biggest franchise of all time, and Pokemon. I'm sorry, Mario is the biggest video game franchise of all time. Pokemon is the biggest franchise, period. Pokemon is bigger than Star Wars in terms of like when you expand it beyond the video games and look at cards and everything. It is literally the biggest media franchise in the world. So like for it to have that many characters, I don't think is too ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't like maybe trade off a few Pokemon slots for a few slots in other series, but I am saying like these two series I think have earned the right to have a ridiculous number of characters on the Smash roster. Fire Emblem, not a bad series, but it shouldn't have more than series that are way bigger than it, like obviously Zelda or Kirby or any of the others. Um, and I could still ramble on further, but I just sort of want to get this off my chest with this video that no, I'm not this screaming, raging lunatic who gets mad whenever his specific requested character doesn't get added. And usually when a character gets added that I don't care about, I'm totally chill about it. It's literally just with Fire Emblem specifically, with this certain series, where I think things get taken too far. So I appreciate you watching, especially if you watched my original reaction, and you just wanted to hear my more reasonable thoughts. You don't have to agree with everything, but I appreciate that you are listening instead of just saying like, this guy is an immature Smash fan who hates every character that isn't specifically the one he wants. So yeah, it's a good thing I don't have any other reaction videos on the channel that I'm ashamed of.